Welcome to the future, a place where the dreams of yesterday meet the harsh realities of today. It's a world that looks eerily familiar yet strangely different, like a reflection in a funhouse mirror. It's not what you expected. Gone are the utopian visions of a perfect world. Instead, we find ourselves navigating through a landscape littered with the remnants of our past ambitions. Remember those shiny chrome-plated futures from old sci-fi movies? The ones where cities gleamed under the sun and technology promised to solve all our problems? Flying cars, robot butlers, vacations on the moon? Yeah, about that. Turns out reality had other plans. Our dreams of a high-tech paradise have been replaced by something far more complex and unpredictable. Our crystal ball got a little dusty, and now the future looks more like a claymation nightmare. The once clear visions of tomorrow are now clouded with uncertainty and challenges we never anticipated. Think Wallace and Gromit after a nuclear apocalypse with a dash of Black Mirror for good measure. It's a world where the whimsical meets the dystopian, creating a surreal blend of humor and horror. But hey, at least it's funny, right? Well, kind of, in a dark, twisted sort of way. It's the kind of humor that makes you laugh and then immediately question why you found it funny in the first place, in that laughing so we don't cry kind of way, because sometimes humor is the only way to cope with the absurdity of it all. It's a coping mechanism, a way to make sense of the chaos around us, because let's face it, we humans are a hilarious bunch. Our ability to find humor in the darkest of times is both our greatest strength and our biggest weakness. We're like that friend who keeps hitting the snooze button on the smoke alarm, then wonders why the house is on fire. We ignore the warning signs, hoping they'll go away, only to be surprised when they don't. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're taking a wild ride through the dystopian amusement park we call the future. It's a roller coaster of emotions, filled with ups and downs, twists and turns. And trust me, you're going to want to hold on tight, because this ride is just getting started, and who knows where it will take us next. One thing's for sure, it's going to be an unforgettable journey. Garbage, gadgets, and glitching politicians. First stop on our tour de dystopia? The environment. Remember trees, fresh air, those cute little polar bears? Yeah, good times. Now, picture this, mountains of trash taller than skyscrapers, air so thick you could cut it with a knife, and politicians still arguing about whether climate change is real. The good news? We've got gadgets galore. The bad news? They run on the tears of endangered species and the last remaining drops of clean water. Oh, and they're constantly spying on us. But hey, at least we can post about it on social media, right? Which brings us to when the Earth had a meltdown and nobody got invited to the pool party. Remember when scientists warned us about melting ice caps and rising sea levels? Well, they weren't kidding. Turns out Mother Nature has a wicked sense of humor, and her idea of a practical joke is flooding coastal cities and turning the planet into a giant hot tub. Who knew ignoring all those reduce, reuse, recycle posters would come back to bite us in our collective behinds? We're basically that guy who throws a rager, trashes the place, then blames it on the dog. Except in this case, the dog is a giant angry planet. Technology, friend or frenemy? It's a question we've all pondered at some point. In this digital age, technology is everywhere, influencing every aspect of our lives. But is it really our friend, or is it more of a frenemy? Spoiler alert, it's both. Remember when the internet was going to connect us all and usher in a new era of peace and understanding? We had such high hopes for this new frontier, imagining a world where everyone could communicate freely and share ideas. Yeah, about that. Instead, we got cat videos, fake news, and algorithms that know us better than we know ourselves. The internet became a double-edged sword, offering endless entertainment and information, but also creating echo chambers and spreading misinformation. Don't get me wrong, technology is awesome. It's also terrifying. On one hand, it has revolutionized the way we live, work, and play. We can connect with loved ones across the globe, access a wealth of knowledge at our fingertips, and even work from the comfort of our homes. But on the other hand, it's like giving a monkey a chainsaw. We have these incredibly powerful tools, but we don't always know how to use them responsibly. The potential for misuse is enormous, and the consequences can be dire. Sure, it can be used for good. Technology has the power to solve some of the world's biggest problems, from healthcare to education to environmental sustainability. It can bring about positive change and improve our quality of life in countless ways, but it's probably going to end badly. The same technology that can save lives can also be used to harm them. Cyber attacks, data breaches, and the erosion of privacy are just a few of the risks we face in this brave new world. And let's not forget artificial intelligence. AI is one of the most exciting and potentially dangerous advancements in technology. It's capable of learning, adapting, and making decisions faster than any human ever could. You know, those super smart computers that are supposed to solve all our problems. They can analyze vast amounts of data, identify patterns, and come up with solutions that we might never have thought of. Well, they're also learning how to write their own code, which means they're becoming more autonomous. This is both fascinating and frightening. Imagine a world where machines can improve themselves without human intervention. It's basically like teaching a dog to order takeout. It sounds cute and harmless, but what happens when the dog starts making decisions on its own? The implications are profound and far-reaching. What could possibly go wrong? As we continue to push the boundaries of what's possible with technology, we must also be mindful of the potential pitfalls. It's a delicate balance, and one that requires careful consideration and responsible stewardship. Social media, where reality goes to die, and we're all invited to the funeral. Remember real life? You know, that thing we used to do before we started spending every waking moment staring at our phones. Back when we had actual conversations face-to-face without using emojis as a substitute for human interaction. Now it's all about likes, followers, and curating the perfect online persona, even if it means sacrificing our sanity and our social skills. We're so busy documenting our lives that we forget to actually live them. It's like watching a movie of someone else eating your favorite meal. Sure, it looks delicious, but you're not actually tasting anything. Stop ignoring the alarm clock. It's time to wake up and smell the dystopia. Okay, so maybe I'm being a little dramatic. Maybe the future isn't all doom and gloom. Maybe we'll pull ourselves together and avert disaster. Or maybe we'll just keep hitting the snooze button on reality until it's too late. Either way, it's time to wake up and smell the dystopia, because we've got a lot of work to do. The good news is we're not dead yet. The bad news is we're running out of time. But hey, at least we're in this together, right? Misery loves company and all that. So you want to save the world? Good luck with that. It's a noble goal, no doubt about it. But let's be real for a moment. The world is a pretty big place, and it's got a lot of problems. From climate change to social inequality, the list goes on and on. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, like you're just one tiny person in a sea of billions, but don't let that discourage you. Every great journey begins with a single step, right? So what can we do? How do we fix this mess we've created? It's a daunting question, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. But that doesn't mean we should just throw up our hands and give up. Instead, let's break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces. Think about the things you care about most. Is it the environment, social justice, animal welfare? Start there. Focus on one area where you can make a difference and go from there. Well, if I had all the answers, I'd be chilling on a private island not writing this essay, but seriously, it's okay not to have all the answers. The important thing is to keep asking questions and seeking solutions. It's a process, and it's going to take time, but every little bit helps. Even small actions can have a big impact when enough people get involved. But hey, a little humor never hurt anyone, right? In fact, it can be a powerful tool for change. Laughter can bring people together, break down barriers, and make difficult topics more approachable. So don't be afraid to use humor as a way to engage others and spread your message. Just remember to keep it respectful and inclusive. So here are a few ideas, just off the top of my head. Plant a tree or 1,000. Trees are amazing. They provide oxygen, improve air quality, and support wildlife. Plus, they just make the world a more beautiful place. And the best part, planting trees is something almost anyone can do. Whether you have a big backyard or just a small balcony, there's always room for a little greenery. Heck, let's just turn the whole planet into a giant forest. Who needs oxygen anyway? Ditch the gadgets. Okay, maybe not all of them. Technology has its benefits, but it's also important to find a balance. Try to unplug every once in a while and reconnect with nature. Go for a hike, have a picnic, or just sit outside and listen to the birds. You'll be surprised at how refreshing it can be. Okay, maybe not all of them, but let's at least try try to cut back on our screen time and interact with the real world every once in a while. Talk to each other, have real face-to-face conversations, share your thoughts, listen to others and build meaningful connections. It's something we've lost touch with in our digital age, but it's so important for our well-being and for creating a sense of community. But let's at least try to cut back on our screen time and interact with the real world every once in a while. Talk to each other. I know, radical concept, right? But trust me, it's a lot more rewarding than arguing with strangers on the internet. Plus, you'll learn so much more from real-life interactions. You'll gain new perspectives, develop empathy, and maybe even make some new friends along the way. I know, radical concept, right? But trust me, it's a lot more rewarding than arguing with strangers on the internet, and who knows, you might even come up with some new ideas for how to make the world a better place. After all, 2 heads are better than 1, and a whole community of heads is even better. But trust me, it's a lot more rewarding than arguing with strangers on the internet. Look, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Saving the world is hard work. It requires dedication, perseverance, and a willingness to step out of your comfort zone. But the rewards are worth it, not just for the planet, but for yourself as well. You'll gain a sense of purpose, build new skills, and maybe even inspire others to join you in your efforts. Look, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. Saving the world is hard work, but somebody's got to do it. And if we fail, well, at least we can say we went down swinging, or maybe just laughing hysterically. Whatever works, the important thing is that we try, because if we don't, who will? So let's roll up our sleeves, get to work, and see what we can accomplish together. Saving the world is hard work, but somebody's got to do it. And if we fail, well, at least we can say we went down swinging, or maybe just laughing hysterically. Whatever works. The important thing is that we try, because if we don't, who will? So let's roll up our sleeves, get to work, and see what we can accomplish together. But somebody's got to do it. And if we fail, well, at least we can say we went down swinging, or maybe just laughing hysterically. Whatever works. The important thing is that we try. Because if we don't, who will? So let's roll up our sleeves, get to work, and see what we can accomplish together. Well, at least we can say we went down swinging, or maybe just laughing hysterically. Whatever works. The important thing is that we try. Because if we don't, who will? So let's roll up our sleeves, get to work, and see what we can accomplish together. Or maybe just laughing hysterically. Whatever works. The important thing is that we try. Because if we don't, who will? So let's roll up our sleeves, get to work, and see what we can accomplish together. Laughter in the face of disaster, because what else can we do? Let's face it, folks, the future is weird and scary. And maybe even a little bit funny if you squint your eyes and tilt your head just right. But it's also what we make it. We can choose to give in to despair, or we can choose to laugh in the face of disaster. Because sometimes laughter is the only sane response to the absurdity of it all. And hey, if we're going to go down, we might as well go down laughing. The end, or just the beginning of a really weird chapter. So there you have it, a glimpse into our hilarious, horrifying, and slightly hopeful future. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go plant a tree, delete my social media, and try to enjoy the few remaining moments of semi-functional civilization we have left. Who knows, maybe we'll surprise ourselves, maybe we'll learn from our mistakes and create a future worth living in. Or maybe we'll just keep making the same mistakes over and over again until the only thing left to laugh about is the sheer absurdity of it all. Either way, it's going to be one hell of a ride.